My name is Robbie Manser. This is Craft Beer Zombie, the channel where we talk about craft beer, the history of beer. It's about beer. You made it. Yes. Beer? Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Today, we're going to be talking about the history of the IPA. Nailed it. What the hell is an IPA? A quick history. First off, IPA stands for Indian Pale Ale. The first IPA dates back to the 1780s, but the story of the IPA really begins in 1757 when the British won the Battle of Plassey. The outcome of this battle was the beginning of British rule in India. The East India Company was then set up to trade with the East Indies, known as Southeast Asia today, but ended up trading mostly with China. The East India Company at the time was responsible for nearly half the world's trade and was the main driver behind British expansion. So with tons of Brits living in India, the beer-loving expats needed beer. And with the hot, sweltering Indian climate, they needed beer now. But because the climate in India was so freaking hot, beer could not be brewed in India. And they had to ship the beer around the Horn of Africa. One of the first brewers to ship beer to India was George Hodgson. He was completely on board with getting those people beer and totally punched heat in the face. Face punch. One more time, face punch. Wah! It also helped that George was so close to the East Indies docks, and he also allowed a generous credit line of 18 months. George sent out a strong, heavily hopped beer called October Ale, normally aged like wine before drinking. The beer not only survived the journey, but it had become even more badass because of the journey. The beer was met with great fanfare, and he dominated the beer market in India for over 50 years. That's how it all began, the first IPA. The IPA evolved and became more pale and more refreshing to help deal with the sweltering Indian heat. Now, bigger breweries wanted to get in on the action, so they made their own IPAs to compete with George. But the invention of refrigeration later killed off the IPA, a sad death for a great beer. That is, until it came back from the dead in 1976. That's when craft brewers in the States rediscovered their love of brewing and brought back the IPA from obscurity. The IPA's resurgence even washed back up on the shores of Britain, as British brewers began copying American IPAs. In short, the IPA is a beer that was invented by brewers in Britain for the Indian market, died out seemingly forever, only to be revived by Americans, and later copied by brewers in Britain, back in the country where it all began. The IPA we know today is a beer reborn. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you want more information on the IPA, I'm going to put some links in the description to some of the videos and articles I used to come up with this. And don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. See you next time.